Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It's Wednesday morning, April 7th, 2021. As we said on Monday, actually around noon on Monday, we actually noticed that the VIX, the volatility index, was rallying while the market was rallying. And we actually forecasted, or really good trading experience said that normally precedes a profit-taking mode. It's not necessarily bad for the market. It just means that we're most likely in a strong move in one direction, in this case to the upside, and option market makers are pricing in the premiums a little bit higher rate. And generally speaking, sometime in the next 3 to 5 days, you get a reversal, which again, nothing wrong with that. The market actually, SPY specifically, has been very strong, making new all-time highs. Just need to take a little bit of pressure off the market, which is actually going to give us some really good new swing trade opportunities. Sometimes when you have a entry here as the optimal entry, as we call it, and the profit target up here, had to justify the trade. This is what the great trade looks like. And that's probably what we had about a week ago. We initiated a ton of new swing trades earlier in the week and last week. And if you want to find out about the swing trades that we actually set up and get my course, just click below this link. You'll see it just below the video. But the point that I want to make is if this is the optimal trade where risk reward is perfect, the further you start to get away from the optimal entry, you still have a profit target. The profit target's still the same, but the reward potential on taking that risk is much lower. So that means that you either need to pass on the trade or try and lower your risk profile, which essentially means that use a tighter risk for a smaller profit. So what's the point of this whole thing? Is that we're going to be riding the swing trades that we took late last week and earlier this week, specifically on Monday. Probably going to see a little bit of a pullback or a pause. However, we do have a couple of trades today that have pulled back already, setting up trades. But my point is we're not going to be initiating new swing trades unless we see some profit taking, unless we see an expansion between what will be an optimal entry and the profit target. And I have to tell you, that's easily one of the biggest mistakes. I know that's a strong word, but it's one of the biggest mistakes that new members come into the community, have this bad habit of chasing price, and looking at it. And a lot of inexperienced traders, hardworking traders, really burning desire to be a trader, just enter too late. You love the idea, you wait, and then you get in and you're like, oh, every time I put a trade on, it moves against me. That's because you need to just go a little bit further and really recognize where you are in the profit-taking scale. The further up you move away from the perfect entry, the further up you move from the optimal entry, the less likely you're going to end up making money on a trade. You end up taking a trade that's 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and you're not going to make money as a trader with a 1-to-1. You're going to have to really have a super high win-loss percentage on that, and that's really difficult to do. And that's kind of something too a lot of traders don't understand is win-loss percentage is one of the biggest garbage vanity metrics in trading. I prove it right now like that. You could have a 90% win-loss ratio and still lose money. One bad trade and you wipe out the other 9. What's more important, which is what we focus on, is learning how to hold your winning trades longer. We admit that there's going to be losing trades. Even on great ideas, there's going to be losing trades. It's the winners. It's holding the big fish when you got it. That's what we specialize in. That's what order flow is. That's what tape reading is. And that's what you should be aspiring to do. Accept the fact that there's sometimes, even in great ideas, there's going to be losses, but it's not the losses that are driving you crazy. It's not making more on the winners. That's what separates somebody who's struggling, and maybe their account's going like this, from somebody whose account's going like this, because you understand, loss is no big deal because my trading company understands how to make money. That's the goal you want to focus on. Stop with all the garbage of trying to eliminate losses. It's not even necessary. Learn how to hold the winners, which we're going to dive into that right now. We're going to show you a little glimpse into some of the stuff that you see underneath the hood. We're going to look at the ETFs, the major ETFs. We're going to break down some of the stocks in the Dow, and then we're going to take a look at some stock picks and some interesting ideas. Starting out with Walmart today, we're going to first get over and go into the stocks in the Dow and the ETFs. I'm going to bring up a big point here. So I'm going to hop on over to the screen. Hang on, let me just get it set up here. And we're going to jump over. First, we're going to actually start out. We'll stay here. We'll start with this stuff, the stocks in the Dow. And what's kind of interesting here is as we'll take a look at the market, we'll take a look at the Dow, and you can see We're actually bullish gap. Everything looks great. And you would think that, okay, awesome, I'm going to hang on to this position. But then you go under the hood a little bit and you start to see that more than half of the Dow finished negative yesterday. More than half. Then we break it down into the major ETFs. So then we go into the major ETFs and we sort that as well. And you can see, again, at least half to 2/3 finished negative yesterday. So what does that mean? That means that your car is still going forward, but you're not stepping on the gas anymore. And I know that sounds like a little bit of a Yoda thing, but really it comes down to is you're still going higher, you're not pulling back, but the reason you went higher in the first place has less bullish order flow. So what does that mean? Well, we have the FOMC minutes out today at 2 o'clock. We have a bullish rally over the last 5 to 7 days that hasn't taken a pause. And we had the VIX going up a couple of days ago while the market was also going up, which is not ideal. We want to see the VIX going down when the market goes up. So you combine all of those things, we'll kind of do for a little bit of a pullback, which is, again, a natural function of the market. It's not that big of a deal. If you read Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, you know, he said the natural pullbacks in the market just lead to new moves higher. And that's what we're getting right now. So what does that mean? We're going to start jumping into some ideas right now, fully aware that the market is strong. We're not going to panic out of our good positions. It's just a question of sitting through what is likely to be a little bit of a pullback while we set up our next trade. So again, that's a big thing too. You need to be always building a watch list of ideas of what's the next trade, what's the next trade, what's the next trade. And again, that's what I do for our community all the time. Have an alert set for this price. Watch the stock if it gets up to that level. If it pulls back down to that level, we're going to take a look at that. First we'll start out with Walmart. And we've obviously been watching Walmart now for a couple of days. We actually had a new swing trade that we initiated here on this bull flag over here. And it's been in a really solid 5-week rally. Then some news came out yesterday. And if you happen to have not been watching the market intraday, this happened here where the stock just absolutely exploded. And this was the news. Walmart, Flipkart, India reportedly progresses towards IPO. Now, the thing here about Walmart is we're long the position. We're looking for follow-through. We're looking for the stock to continue to bounce. But when news like this comes out, it's usually priced in. It's usually not the catalyst that nobody knows about. So there's a reason the stock rallied hard for the last 5 weeks. That's the story. So now what we need to watch, what we need to pay attention to on the weekly chart, we need to make sure that the weekly chart stays well bid. So in other words, we want to continue to see higher highs, higher lows. As long as we see that, we're good. As long as we see that we have higher highs, higher lows, and we stay above the opening price on the weekly chart, we're kind of good. If we start to go well offered on the weekly chart, which is, you can see the visualization of it here, where we have lower lows and lower highs, closing below the open and closing below the previous weekly candle, then we know that was priced in, and we probably will tighten up our position. So we want to see it kind of like drift sideways. And in the terminology that we have in the boot camp, that's called holding the bid, where it goes up and goes sideways as opposed to going up and pulling back. When you see a stock that goes up and goes sideways, that's actually stock that's still strong. They're holding the bid because the buyers are still there. They're not letting it come back down. So that's what we're looking to see in Walmart right now. Another interesting trade yesterday, Starbucks actually came out with earnings in January. Earnings weren't awesome. However, something to keep an eye on, again, building the watch list. Starbucks made new all-time highs yesterday. Kind of sneaky, right? Coming off of the March lows of last year, you can see the long-term trend is still valid. Look at the persistency of it holding this bid. So now what? Do you buy the all-time highs in Starbucks? Well, let's go to Starbucks' recent history. Use simple stuff. Do not make things more complicated. And by the way, I love to keep things simple. If you want to get more ideas like this, click down and subscribe. You'll get updates. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. I love to have the interaction back and forth. But if I give you any piece of wisdom, for lack of better way of putting it, keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. Keep it so you can make a decision like this. Let's go to Starbucks right now and look at Starbucks and buying breakouts, okay? Here's one breakout that failed. Here's another 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 breakout. What's going to happen over the next 3 to 5 days? Well, most likely Starbucks is going to pull back. This trend line is going to catch up, and that's going to be the best opportunity to get long Starbucks, okay? I love the idea. I love the trade. I am not buying this breakout. So keep an eye on that with me as well. Next, we have General Motors, which we also initiated a swing trade this week where, again, I don't know if you're a diehard car motorhead or whatnot, but going to start making Silverado electric pickup trucks. So that's being perceived as very good news. GM is also another trade that we initiated a swing trade in the community last week. We got in here on this bullish gap. We're looking for follow through. If it does, we'll look to add to that position. One other interesting play is PENN, which has been getting destroyed over the last, since it actually made all-time highs. Again, getting back into the concept of all-time highs being hit. The long-term trend off of March is still valid. I don't think we're going to get down to this 85 level, but there was a story yesterday about Dave Portnoy, sex tape whole thing. He's trying to say that no, it should have nothing to do with it. But really, the bottom line is all of these stocks, there's a lot of money to be made. It's just a question. This is profit taking coming off of all-time highs. We're looking for the stock to get back above 110. There's only two places I'm looking to get long the stock. If it pulls back and meets this long-term uptrend, which that would be a pretty significant pullback, or if it gets over 110. If it gets over 110, 125 would be my first profit target here as well. I want to bring up Chewy again, very specifically because it had really good earnings, and I'm actually surprised how far it's been pulling back. The guidance was good. The numbers were good. It's not a perfect order flow trade. It broke out of that range of 88, set an alert for 88. Above 88 is where I'm going to start taking a look at it again. You can't give up on good ideas. Pinterest actually, this was called out in our community yesterday. We have our daily game plan every day. I like the idea. I don't like the long until it gets up to this $88 level and pauses and then look for a new long. This is one of those trades where it's still a valid day trade, but not a valid swing trade because there's too much consolidation coming up. And just to give you, like, again, keeping it simple, this is where sellers did something significant last time. I'm not going to buy into that. I want to get up there, pause, hold the bid, and then look for the next move. A couple other stocks in the hardware sector, WDC and STX, both of them sitting and resting at breakout levels. We're looking to initiate new trades up here as well. We do have a few trades that had some profit taking. Mara crypto stock actually hit all-time highs. We're looking for one more day to the downside or a lower opening and then a snapback trade where it trades back above yesterday's high. X will be a trade I'm going to be looking at to initiate a new swing trade today. And again, this is really what gets trading exciting. Keeping it simple, there's not a better or more reliable trade than buying a pullback back to the level that it broke out from. So I'm going to be watching X today and AMAT. AMAT actually needs to pull back a little bit more. It was on fire, 115 to 145, $30 rally in just over a week. Looks amazing. I just want to see a little bit more of a pullback before I get one more big red candle, and then I'll look to be bidding for this stock on Friday. So a lot of good stuff going on in the market right now. Again, FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock today. Watch that Walmart trade with us. It's going to be interesting to see if it's a textbook sell the news story. Best case scenario for our swing trade, it's up, it goes sideways, hold the bid, and we get another push higher. So a lot going on today. Be awesome today. Challenge yourself to do something better today than you did yesterday, and you'll be amazed at how that incrementally adds up every single day. If you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Give us a thumbs up. Let me know that you like this kind of comment, and be sure to subscribe. You get alerts too. Have a great day, everybody. I'll speak to you soon.